going to have some fun and do a first mock draft. Everyone loves mock drafts. This is time of the year where we're not going to do a full one. That's coming. Both on the Hockey Writers and on the show, we'll do a full first round one. I promise we will. But we're going to start with a top 10 mock draft early on. Ran through the Tankathon simulator, and we got an order. And first overall pick went to the Arizona Coyotes. And we all know their struggles this season. They are, I think they're for last in the NHL right now. So they actually got what's supposed to happen every year is the last place team should get the first overall pick, but the lottery always throws stuff off. So let's go with the first overall pick. And that after a random draw, Andrew, you got the first overall pick. You are the general manager of the Coyotes. Is a guy named Shane Wright your first overall pick? Well, let's see.
Well, I know the organization is in turmoil in terms of their picks, but Shane Wright from the Kingston Frontenacs will go number 1 to the Arizona Coyotes. He'll line up nicely with Matthews when they sign him after he's done with the Leafs. It's a solid pick to get him. Nice center. I know there's a lot of controversy about how he played at the 2 games they had at the World Juniors, and people are criticizing his play, but Shane Wright's definitely the number 1 pick for Arizona.
Yeah, I mean, we had some, of course, the talk about him not going first overall, but I think we already went through that. It's a bunch of nonsense. So first overall to the Arizona Coyotes, we'll see if that actually happens. So solid pick for the Coyotes as they rebuild with Dylan Yenther and guys like that. So that's a solid addition. Second overall pick is to the Buffalo Sabres. And I got that pick. And I am going, not just because I love this guy, but I think it's because the Buffalo Sabres they lost Jack Eichel. They don't really have anyone center that could kind of be that superstar type guy. I'm going with Logan Cooley as second overall pick to the Buffalo Sabres. They should have picked a forward at this last draft, but Owen Power's doing a ridiculous. I mean, we already know what he did at the World Juniors. I think that pick's a little less. We all kind of said they shouldn't have gone for him first overall, but I think it's a pretty solid pick with what he's done. So, but Logan Cooley's going to really add that. He's a great two-way centerman. He's got not many weaknesses to his game. So, I mean, there may be some other guys that could go second overall, but I think they shouldn't go with a guy like Simon Nemec or anything like that. Cooley just has so much to his game that I think the Sabres need in their organization. Logan Cooley to the Buffalo Sabres. Let's go third overall. Montreal Canadiens, who went to the Stanley Cup final, and now they're towards the end and the bottom of the league. Peter, you got the Montreal Canadiens third overall. You are the new GM of the team. Who are you choosing?
Wow, big shoes to fill right there. This goes without saying that they need some help on the back end. They don't have any viable right-hand shot defenseman. Shea Weber is gone, and you know where I'm probably going with this. I'm going to go with Simon Nemec. Just mainly because of the fact that he's got such great poise and confidence whenever he has the puck and he's in transition. He knows exactly what he wants to do, and he executes everything properly. You have Caden Gooley on the left-hand side and you have Simon Nemec on the right. There's a possible top pairing right there for the team in the future. Or if anything, Simon Nemec is still going to be in that top 4, and same with Cooley, depending on the direction they decide to go or how well they develop. So you shore up that right-handed side, and he's got a really good, powerful shot from the point to go along with Gooley as well. So that's my pick for the Montreal Canadiens.
Yeah, they definitely need some help down the line on the right side. So that's a great pick for the Montreal Canadiens there. Greg, Ottawa Senators, who are the fourth overall pick here, they're going to get another great prospect to add to their really great riches of prospects there. Greg, new GM of the Ottawa Senators. Who are you choosing?
And I really want to make an off-the-board kind of crazy pick that the Senators kind of are known for a little bit. They definitely could use. So they could definitely use some more defensive help. When you look at a lot of their prospect pool, they got a lot of talent up front. Yes, they have Jake Sanderson, but outside of that, their defensive prospect depth is not that great. but it might be stretching. The Canadiens just stole the guy that I thought would have been a perfect fit for them. But instead of reaching for a defenseman here at number 4, I'm going to go with Joakim Kemmel from Finland and add him to that already pretty talented forward group of youngsters. So we'll get our defenseman later in the draft, I think.
Yeah, Kemmel's a talent. He's another one of those two-way type wingers, and it would have been nice to see him more at the World Juniors. But yeah, that's a great pick for the Ottawa Senators to add, of course, to their great pool of players already. 5th overall pick. This is a team that, you know, they have some heat of who they chose at the expansion draft, a new team, the Seattle Kraken, who have not really had a Vegas Golden Knights type season at all. So Seattle Kraken at the 5th overall pick, and it goes to Andrew here. Your dual duty as a general manager. You're the general manager of the Kraken now as well. Who are you choosing for the Kraken?
So I know I criticized the Sabres last year for taking defensemen as high as they did. And I know I just kind of talked about how this guy might fall a little bit, but I think right now, if you're Seattle, you've got a little bit of time to wait, time to see what you've got. So I think if you can add a right-handed defenseman like David Juricic at 5, that you're doing your job as a GM, you're doing your team a favor. And I think they go David Juricic and get an opportunity to kind of build this team. They've got Matty Beniers up front. They've got some young talent up front that they got in the expansion draft and signed. They have a goaltender in Grubauer. Now it's time to build that back end because Mark Giordano is not going to be there forever. So I would go David Juricic at 5.
Yeah, Juracek had kind of rose up there. I mean, he has been talked about in that top 5 range in some rankings, I believe. So, I mean, that's a good pick for the Kraken. I mean, like you said, they need to rebuild. I think Giordano's not even with the team past the deadline, personally. I mean, I think they're going to trade him. So, yeah, they definitely need some building blocks back there. I've got the Columbus Blue Jackets at number 6. This is a pick that they got 2. They got 2 in this top 10. Spoiler alert. So, I mean, they're getting another. They got Kent Johnson last draft. They also, I mean, they just got some great talent up there. So I am going with, and they need center depth. This is something they need. They need a top line center after trading away Dubois and all that. So I am choosing Matthew Savoy for the Columbus Blue Jackets. Really add to that group. I mean, Kent Johnson's been listed as a centerman, but I think he's more of a winger. So, I mean, Savoy's going to really add to that talent and that group. We've talked about, he's got a great shot. Could be a superstar centerman in the NHL. This is a guy that's been dominating the Winnipeg Ice. Really interesting why he wasn't invited to the World Juniors. So, I mean, definitely the Columbus Blue Jackets need that center. Mark's talked about it on Union Junction. They need centers, and they're probably going to be going for a guy like that in the first round. So they're first in the top 10 here. So Matthew Savoy. Next up is New York Islanders at 6th overall. I mean, this is a team that's they've dropped a bit as well after, you know, making the playoffs surprisingly the last few years. I don't know if they're probably not going to make it this year. I mean, they have a lot of games in hand, a lot of teams, because they haven't played a lot, but you never know. So yeah, Peter, who are you picking for the New York Islanders at number 6?
Yeah, they took advantage drafting
7.
one Finn and they took advantage in drafting Aatu Räty in the 2nd round last year without a first-round pick. Everyone thought that even with the slide, he should have been a first. They're not going to let that happen again. They're going to take Brad Lambert 7th overall, mainly because of his speed, his skill, his creativity, his offensive drive. He has that awareness that he always wants to make something happen. And it kind of fits the MO of what the Islanders want to be offensively, or with the way that they want to form their attack. I mean, it's going to be complimentary if at some point he gets to play alongside Matt Barzal. That's going to be a really great dynamic duo in the future if it does happen. But if it doesn't, they still got a really solid winger and even a centerman. He can play both positions. Again, size, awareness, the vision, the smarts. Just the production needs to come together. And then if all else, it's going to be a really great 7th overall pick for them.
Yeah, that's a good pick. I mean, the Islanders, I mean, they got some good prospects as well. So we'll see what happens there. Philadelphia Flyers up at number 8. Greg, you're on the clock. Who are you picking for the Flyers? This is a team, again, thought they were going to do a lot better. I mean, they rebuilt their defense. Their forward group has some good pieces, but they got another top 10 pick here. Who are you choosing?
When I looked at their prospect pool and trying to figure out what their need is, they got some pretty good defensive guys on the way. Guys like York and Zamula, Andre, those are quality guys. So I don't think they need to go defense here at this top pick. You look at their current roster, they got a lot of aging guys up front. You know, Claude Giroux is not going to be there forever. Look, some of the other veteran forwards, they need to get younger up front and talented. So they're going to take, or I will take for the Flyers, Juraj Slafkovský, my guy from Slovakia. You know, big, and Flyer fans will love him because he's a gigantic forward, can play physical. It's got a lot of talent, can do it all. I think they're going to get themselves a heck of a pick there at number 8.
Yeah, that's Slafkovsky is going to really add to that. I think he's a Flyers type pick too.
Yeah,
I mean,
he fits that
and
old school mold, the big winger. You know, I don't want. Obviously, I'm not going to make this comparison, but a fan base that absolutely adored Eric Lindros. He's got the size. You know, could fill out to be that. Not saying he's got the same type of player, but you know, they love their Broad Street bullies still out there in Philly. So if you get a big guy out there, he'll be a fan favorite. Yeah,
I definitely agree with that. I mean, I wouldn't be surprised if he's on the board. I think they definitely would consider that. Let's go New Jersey Devils at number 9. I mean, this is, again, a team that kind of rebuilt a bit in the offseason, got some defensemen. Dougie Hamilton was one of them. They got some great young talent. Dawson Mercer has been really impressive this year. So they've got some good pieces. Alexander Holtz is another one that is there. Who you got at number 9, Andrew, for the New Jersey Devils to add to that group?
If there's a goalie in the top 10, I'd throw a goalie their way, but they do have, obviously, Luke Hughes. They took last year. They've got guys like Chase Stillman coming up. They've got guys like Samu Salmonen coming up. They have, as you mentioned, Alexander Holtz. They've got Graham Clark. So they've got a lot of wing coverage. They've got some back end coverage. So I'm going to go Frank Nazar with the New Jersey pick. I think just adding that extra help up the middle. You can never have enough when it comes to center coverage. And what he's, as Peter mentioned earlier in the show, what he has to offer for this team certainly can push them over the edge in terms of building that pipeline and getting back to being a competitive team here in the NHL. Yeah,
I mean, the New Jersey Devils are, again, they got some great prospects there. So I think they're going to be that rising team soon. I mean, they've had some moments this season, but and Jack Hughes is another guy. I didn't mention that he's really developing to that superstar that everyone thought for the first overall pick. So New Jersey's got a bright future. Christie's covering a great team there. So last but not least on the top 10 here, Columbus Blue Jackets get another pick. First round pick in the top 10. Peter, you've got the last pick of this top 10 here. Who are you choosing for the Blue Jackets for their second one here?
This is difficult because on one hand, I want to say Connor Geekie, but they already took Matt Savoy in the center depth that they have, and they already have Kent Johnson in the system as well. But on the other, I'm probably going to go with Danilo Yurov and shore up the wing position for them, given the fact that he is extremely he has a very smooth skating stride. He's very quick. Could go end to end in a flash. He's got great passing awareness, great hands as well. Could protect the puck extremely well in the corners and even drive to the front of the net. So he's kind of like a whole package speedy winger that you want to have. And yeah, I mean, this was a tough one because I really wanted to pick Geekie, but at the same time, Yurov is definitely a good way to end the top 10 selection for the Blue Jackets there.
Yeah, and there's our top 10. Like I said, we're going to do a full first round as we get going here, but just a kind of a sneak preview as a bit of a mock draft top 10. Thanks guys for taking part, having some fun. So